Now that we've learned about the structure, which is a vital part of the essay, let's move on to vocabulary. Vocabulary accounts for about 25% of your writing marks, so it's pretty much an essential part to your success. In Task 1 in the academic test, you'll be required to use specific language to talk about a number of things. This part of the exam is always in academic style writing. You should never use personal views or expression of your thoughts. So let's look at what you will need to use. The first area you'll need to learn about is how to talk about numbers. You need to use your language to describe numbers, so you need to know mathematical language and countable words such as much and many. During the Task 1 in academic writing, the figures shown are not usually exact, rather they are approximate numbers, which means it's important that you write the difference. For example, almost 10% is not the same as writing 10%. The same goes for writing 1/4 rather than writing 25%. You can practice using this form of vocabulary on the DC IELTS website. The second style of vocabulary you'll need to use is quantifiers. You need to use words that indicate some form of quantity, such as words like many, more, less. You need to know what is countable and what isn't, so learn countable words. The second thing I would like you to look at is time-related words. As often in Task 1, you'll be given a question that looks at a trend that happens over a period of time. The most basic words to use will probably give you about a band score of 5, which are words like up, down, reached, at the top, at the bottom. To improve on these types of words, you can check out the vocabulary list provided as well. You can see the comparison between the two. There are also preposition problems that happen over and over again in a lot of my students, and the most common for academic 1 tend to be the words by, to, in, and of, as well as the and are. Also, sometimes it's a problem between the words is and are. Learning the difference between all of these prepositions, if you don't know them already, will benefit you a lot because they will be used a lot in this part of the exam. The third style of vocabulary I would like you to look at is using comparison words. Now, often these words can also be used for another part of the writing, so keep that in mind. You need to know how to express the difference between things, such as the words slightly or considerably. You will find my advice for these words to use for this section in the vocabulary list as well as comparisons between IELTS Band 5 and IELTS Band 7 or 8 style words. Now that we're talking about Task 1, some of the tips that I can give you about this exam are following. People find it really difficult when they are asked to describe a process. Some tips for this section is to learn to use words that are sequencing words and words that are similar to then. You need to express some form of order.